back to the channel, guys. Today we are hopefully gonna fix this guy up enough to at least get it running and driving. Like I said in previous videos, this has already been purchased technically, but we at least want to kind of get it ready. I've taken all the parts that I wanted off of it, and then now we're just going to make it so that it's at least capable of moving around and not super disgusting as it was. How I've said in the previous videos, this thing has been sitting for over 10 years in some garage and was doing pretty great, and now it's been sitting in my yard for the last, I don't know, 3 or so months, maybe longer, and it's time to get it moving. So what we're going to do is see if we can get this thing started. The previous owner has been doing something around here. I'm not too sure exactly what, so we're going to take a peek at that, make sure that this thing is actually able to move under its own power appropriately enough, at least, so that we can either load it up on a trailer if we need to, or give it a shot. Maybe there's nothing wrong with it after all. We don't know. Let me take you guys inside a little bit so you can see what's going on. It's a lot rougher than it looks, just only simply because while I was swapping interiors, the stuff that came out of my car, I just kind of tossed it in here. What we're going to be focusing on today is getting that engine running and then throwing all the stuff back in. Luckily, it shouldn't be too bad. Don't worry about the window. It's not down because it's been down. It's down because we had to do some stuff with the motor and it's just not holding it up necessarily. So take a peek inside. It is pretty moldy, but it has been pretty moldy. That's kind of another thing that we're gonna kind of focus on today, is getting it cleaned up so it's not a health hazard to actually be in here and to move this thing around. Underneath all of the stuff, underneath all of the trim, it is pretty clean. It just needs a really good disinfection. Before we get to under the hood, let's check out what's in the trunk. I already know, but I'll show you guys anyway. It's all the little carpets and stuff. And short of detailing, we are going to do just a little bit of maybe that wet vac and just kind of clean up some of this nastiness, and then probably just a quick little wipe down of all these door panels. They seem to be all right. They're just kind of gross, and we'll do that and then throw it back in so we can hopefully get this thing not so disgusting like I keep saying. Under the hood, we have a 1 year only 2.5 turbo diesel. It's rare, it's cool, but the only reason I like mine more than this one is because even though this is supposedly one of those million-mile engines and all that, this is god-awfully slow. But it is a cool thing. Obviously, probably miles to the gallon is going to be pretty fantastic, and for its time period, it was pretty sophisticated, but it's very, very, very slow. Very slow. Now that we've taken the initial peek around, we're going to get to work, and we're going to start out with at least first kind of cleaning all of this up so it's not so disgusting to touch and be around. We're going to see how we can hook up a battery. I know this thing is not locked up because the previous owner did end up turning it over for me. It did kind of start and stuff and run. So what we're going to do is make sure that that's confirmed and that it starts and runs semi-reliably, at least enough to where we can move it around if we need to. we had to let everybody try because that part's just so satisfying. With that all cleaned up, we're gonna put this battery tray in, even though we're not gonna use it because all the bolts are rusted away and stuff. Previous owner just kind of threw it in, but it's super gonzo. But at least temporarily it can sit in there. The next owner can deal with all of that. And we're gonna set this trim in now that I vacuumed everything out. It's over here, slightly deformed, but it'll work. I don't have any of the clips, don't know what happened to them. Again, previous owner was doing something here, so we're just gonna, I might not even put that in, honestly. The next owner can kind of deal with it. We'll throw it in the trunk. I will put these trims in here. We have them over there. I'll throw in a battery. We'll check the air box, make sure the rats didn't get in there and stuff. The other thing that the previous owner did mention was that he got a new cable, and I saw it, and it was supposedly sticky, but I went in and kind of played with it, and it looks like it's not actually the throttle cable that's sticky, it's all these linkages. So we're going to take some penetrating oil and just soak every single connection, make sure that it all retracts the way it's supposed to be, because I think that's what's kind of holding it up. The previous guy put on a piece of string to pull the pedal back as we drove, so hopefully we won't need that anymore, and we can just give this thing a crank and everything will work. If it doesn't work, if it is the cable, because it is pretty gross and nasty, there is that one, and the new owner can mess with it all he wants. I understand he has other cooler plans anyway, so, but we're gonna do at least the minimum. We'll check the oil, we'll check coolant, and we'll see if this thing will fire up. Of course it has to start raining the hardest right as things are about to get good. These batteries were the best purchase I probably ever made. 300 bucks for two of them. I think they're off of a forklift dry cell. We use them as the house batteries on the adventure van. Did I say 300 bucks for both of them? They're normally like $4.50 a piece. Total steal. Well, with this rain, call it an early lunch. Nice chicken and waffles later. The rain finally stopped a little, so we're gonna lube up all the connections, hook up that battery, give it a crank. If it doesn't start, I do got some ether. We'll shoot some in there and hopefully it'll kind of get it going. Definitely clean out that air box first too though. Right, because this part pulls it. And this part, so that part springs back. That spring not strong enough to just pull past all that gunk. Let me see if I can press it. Okay. So supposedly right now, it's stuck backwards, yeah? And it needs to be manually pulled. There is a spring on the pedal. I don't know if that's gonna contribute to it not being pulled back or what, but you can try. Well, for now, We're just gonna leave it like this. If exercising it alone doesn't get it to snap back, then yeah, probably it will need to get replaced. The replacement is in the trunk. The new owner can do that because I don't need it to run. He does. So he can do that, he can replace it. I don't feel like dealing with it. But we will still get it started. We will still bolt some stuff on the interior back in place. See if we can get this thing moving. And then probably give it a nice wash because that'll end up being pretty satisfying. There we go. Good enough for who it's for. Now we're gonna just check. This filter. Make sure there's no gunk in there. And then there, and under there. The filter's seen better days, but good enough for now. At least the connection's somewhat freed up. Intake is nice and clean. We can give this thing a start. Let me check oil actually one before we do. It's in there. It's gross, over full, but it's in there. Oh, that's right. It's got to be in neutral. And the thing is this. For just a second, and then we'll give it some revs and see how it sounds. It needs a little bit of coolant, so we won't leave it running for too long, but at least now we know that it'll start again the way that it needs to, and we can move it around if we have to. I'm gonna rev it with a little string thing that he's got hooked up. Now that it runs, we're gonna button it back up together and see if we can actually take it out for a spin and see how it does. This is intense. I really don't want to do it, but I have to do it. Now I gotta pull everything out and put everything slowly back in, but this time actually bolt it in. So just gotta rip that band-aid. So now I gotta put just as much of the interior back in. And that way we can hook up the shifter and everything like that. Who knows? Maybe I might put everything back together. Maybe not. Honestly. Maybe not. I'll go get the vacuum. Driver's side. Passenger side. We'll put all this in. I'll probably at least give it a little bit of one of those wet vacs, a little bit, hit it a little bit with the wet vacs, and then put it back in. I'll vacuum out the footwells right now, and then we can at least put that center column in so that we can put the shifter in and everything, and then that way we can actually sit in it without, you know, getting cancer. Smells good.
Nice gloves.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just rust.
What?
It's just rust.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's the perfect weather to work in after this.
Yeah. Getting close to the grossness.
It's dark coffee.
Yeah.
For the screening stuff.
That's good.
Yeah. Gorge. Brand new suit.
Yeah. It looks good and black.
It does.
This is a disinfectant spray. You spray it, and the longer you leave it, the more it kills germs. And supposedly after, I don't know, I think 40 minutes of not wiping it down, which I don't think it's required to wipe down, but just leaving it on supposedly kills 99% of germs. It's intense. That smell is intense, so I believe it. But this will hopefully eliminate whatever's left that the brush didn't get.
It's strong.
It's very strong. Yes. Now we just leave it. I really like the smell of this one.
The peony one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite. And there's an extra one, another one. It's the rain. It's called rain, I think. That one's one of my favorites. It's super soft.
Yeah.
Smells like summer rain, you know?
Yeah.
Put it in.
Screw hole.
Yeah.
Wait, no. This way it finishes it. See the nice little trim?
Oh, yes, that's true.
Because that means that everything else is tucked under. So this one
All
goes
the
on
little
this.
pieces, though, you pretty much took this whole thing apart.
Yep. So that is supposed to go under there, I'm pretty sure. This one over the top. So technically, bruh, embarrassing me right now. Hold on. Right there. Pick that up. Go underneath like that. Probably could go more that way, but there you go. This one's much easier without the steering wheel and the armrest. We're calling it a day because it's getting too dark. The camera's tricking you guys. It looks pretty good, but we slowly can't see. So it's been a couple of weeks, but we have otherwise a moist day, but still dry, not actively raining. We're gonna jump back into this, get some door panels put in place, the rest of that back seat and some of this carpeting set in place the way it needs to be. Wipe everything down because the lack of seals has created a moldy situation. So we're gonna get onto that and then start this thing back up. Make sure that all of those coolant lines have hose clamps on it. Make sure that we have plenty of oil, plenty of coolant in here, and then check all these tires and stuff and make sure that they're actually good so that we can give this thing a try out on the street. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'll start working and halfway through I'll just need a little bit extra motivation. We're gonna go get an energy drink. Little man's gonna join us for the ride.
I didn't know it had a cup. Oh wait, I knew.
Okay, let's get all that crap out of the way. Boys, this is why you get yourself a good woman, because then she can surprise you with chicken parm when you're out here working. Did you plug it in? Off camera, we got the rest of the interior done. We're gonna show you guys in the morning because it is getting a little bit too dark. But before we call it a night, I am gonna give it a nice little wash so that tomorrow morning we can just take it out onto the street and actually give it a test and see what exactly is wrong with that transmission, even though it doesn't matter because the new owner has even better plans for it. But up until then, we don't want it looking this gross. So we're gonna give it a nice quick wash so that it's ready for tomorrow morning. I still have not fixed the throttle, so our throttle return still stays the same. Initial impressions is that it's very noisy, very noisy. I've never driven, I won't say that, I've driven an old 300 TD, right? And that felt like a really, really old car, but not necessarily like this. This is supposed to be one of the more of the modern 90s era. I mean, I think it's what, 92, 93, something like that. Or no, it's even older, isn't it? 87, I'm way off. Still, it's one of the more newer diesels. And it is very loud, obviously it's very loud. But it still feels like a 201. It seems like it shifts all of its gears. I'm not too sure why the previous owner said that it's going to have some sort of issue. I'm not seeing it, but I was told that after it warms up a while, that's when the transmissions typically like to slip, and that's where you need new clutches. Now, I have not floored it or anything like that, but it seems like it picks up speed. I would say we'll try to hit, let's call it what feels like 25 miles an hour, because the speedometer in here does not work, and we'll see if it feels like it could keep up with modern traffic. There's the slipping. Okay, we felt it. So under hard acceleration, it does slip. Under normal, just kind of smooth driving, not too bad. It's definitely an experience. I was telling Lily about this. I was saying, I understand why some of the classic Mercedes guys love the diesels. It feels different. It feels different than like the gas models. It definitely does feel different than the gas models. It's something about it, almost kind of like a pedigree that you get from the diesels. I still like the gas, but I get it. I get it. I hope you guys enjoyed our little adventure with this thing. It's a quite special car after all. Do I feel bad for kind of taking the good parts out of that interior and putting it in mine? No, because mine is in a really good condition. I really actually enjoy driving ours. I do also enjoy this car. Maybe if I had a farm, I would keep it. But I know that the new owner is going to do something really cool with it, and I'm kind of excited to see that. And if I have any of his info or anything like that, I'll make sure to put it down below so you guys can watch along with it. It is a really cool car, actually. 2.5 diesel, got the same body as that one, other than like the trim package and stuff like that. It was fun taking it apart and putting it back together. I guess you can say that. Not really though, because all of the parts are old and very sensitive. But that's also what makes it kind of special in another way though too, because unlike a lot of cars, these I do consider heirloom cars, because you can fix just about anything on it. Anything could either be 3D printed or machined or otherwise to make this work. That's kind of what I've learned from working on these cars. If you guys enjoyed the 190 content, there is more coming to that one. It is a rolling restoration, so I'm not parking it and then doing all the work. I'm driving it and enjoying it. We actually take it out every weekend. But we do still have suspension work on it. We still have brake work to do on it. A little bit of body work to do on it. And hopefully that's going to happen sooner than later. And for all of you guys that are new subscribers that really like the van, summer's coming. Plenty more trips to take in it and a whole lot more work that we get to customize and do on this thing. So more videos on that are coming too. Make sure that you leave any kind of comments or anything for the good of the order down below, and we'll see you guys on the next video.